Hey everyone, Scott here from Applos. Thanks for taking the time to learn more about Portalbuzz and how it can help your group or organization. From the beginning, our goal was to make managing things like members, meetings, events, communications, and websites easier for groups just like yours. In this video, I'll walk you through the core features of Portalbuzz to help familiarize you with all it can do. Let's take a look. The first thing I want to do is talk about the public website functionality. We recently updated it to make it really easy to create your initial public website. So there's this new function called the Website Builder. And what this does is let you create the initial structure of your website in 3 simple steps. The first one, you select the color scheme of your website. So I'll select this yellow color. Then you select the layout of the home page. This is only a test account, so there's only one here, but by the time you look at this, there will be many more of these homepage layouts from which you can choose. And so it's just going to be a preference of how you might want it to look, and we pre-fill it with some basic content, and then you just go and update it for your own group. So you choose that, then you hit next. And then we have a bunch of pages created that you can choose which ones you want. And this is pre-made content we created. Some of it's instructional, such as the history page that gives you some tips on how you might create your history. And some of it's just like the committees is just going to be a list of committees, and we created a kind of a stock blurb before the list of committees that just explains what it is. Any of it can be changed. You can add additional pages, delete pages, whatever you want to do. This is just the initial structure for your site. You hit Create Site, and just like that, your website's created, and you have all these pages in your website now. And so if I go back to the member site and then click to look at the website, so this was all just created right now from the website builder. So you can see I did have a couple news items in here just to fill in some information in there, but all of this is just the stock content we created, and you can go and update it however you'd like. We tried to give some tips on things you could do. You can replace all the images, change the text, change anything you want. And then all those subpages are created as well. There's a page with meetings and events, and these all pull from the member area. And there's the other pages, such as, a list of projects, photo gallery, about us, board and officers committees, and things like that. So it makes creating your website really fast. You can see that only took me a couple of minutes. And now I would just go and edit the pages as I want to. And so back in the public website editor, I do want to talk about some of the other features we have in here. So I'm going to jump over actually to another website. And this is a test website I created with some additional information using some other controls. So we have these public website controls that are kind of pre-bundled functionality. Some of it pulls information from the public website or from the member website, like the meetings and events, and some of it's just pre-packaged functionality. I showed you the list of meetings and events, but I want to go into that a little deeper. You'll soon be, we'll go through the meetings and events area on the member side, but I just wanted to show you something here. So in this event that I created, I set some volunteer positions to be publicly available. So what this means is that you could just send this link out to all your members, and if there's any non-members that help you volunteer, just send it out, and they could just click on the link, come to the page, and sign up to help you volunteer. It makes getting members to volunteer for your events just much easier. We have an event registration tool that lets you create a registration for, it really can be any kind of event that you do, whether it's a big one that has different registration types, or maybe something you're just selling tickets for. You can do it either way. The the registrants fill everything out, indicate how many tickets they want, if you have tickets. Then they come down here and they can just pay with a credit card. They get sent a receipt for the registration, and then you have the registrations in the admin area of the member site. There's a new member registration that lets you send new members or prospective members here to sign up, and then they can pay their dues right here online. And there's an admin area on the member side that the admin goes into and can approve those members if they've been approved by the board, if your group operates that way. Then there's a donation control where you put it on a page and there's a configuration in the member area, and you can accept credit card donations as well through here. And then of course there's a photo gallery, which you can highlight all of the great things that that you guys do, doing service and fundraising and all that. So that's kind of a quick tour of the public website functionality. It's all completely up to you how you want to do it. We help you to get started, and then from there, it's up to you to do it really however way you want to. So back in the member area, so when members log in, they get a short list of meetings and events. They get there's kind of a message area where they can post messages to other members. And then I'll just walk through this menu on the left. There's a member directory where members can log in. They can see the other members of the club. They can view details of those members. And you're able to download a PDF directory of the members, and you can choose which fields you want in it. And it just downloads a nicely formatted PDF that you can send out to members or have printed, or however you want to do it. There's a calendar that it takes all of the meetings and events and birthdays that are in the system and puts them on a calendar. The meetings and events area, this will list your committee meetings, your regular meetings, and your events. And so I showed you a little bit about how you can have the publicly accessible signups. So you just do that by checking off the public column. But it's a great way to manage all the volunteers for your events. The admin can come in here and sign members up. Start typing their name and select it when it pops up and hit sign up, and it'll sign that member up. And you can put in notes for the event. You can set up tasks for it. You can assign those tasks to members, and when they complete them, they can come in here and just check them off that they've been completed. You can upload files for the event, and there's also an email function specifically for the event. So for regular meetings, you can, set up location, time, date, description. There's meeting assignments. So and you create these meeting assignments however you want to. In this example, I set up a greeter, a money collector, and a speaker. Then you can sign up members or non-members for them. There's an Attendee Rsvp function, and the way this works is when you activate it, it sends an email out to all members. And those members, in that email, it'll ask if they're attending with a link for yes and a link for no. They just click that and it'll indicate if they're coming. And so their response looks something like this, and they can also indicate if they are having guests attending as well. You can upload an agenda and minutes for the meetings. And committee meetings work mostly the same way as the regular meetings, except they're tied to a committee. Then in the committee area, you can set up the committees. You can set up the, add who the members are, who the chair is. You can put in committee meetings, agendas, minutes, all that kind of stuff. You can take attendance for the meetings. Same, you can take attendance for regular meetings, committee meetings, and events, and track all that attendance. There's an attendance area in the meetings and events area. Then there's an email function that lets you send emails to your members. So if I wanted to send an email to all members, I just type in all members. And there are several different of these lists that are automatically generated. If you wanted to send to members of a committee, you start typing in the name of the committee and they'll all pop up. Or volunteers for an event. Then you put in a subject. Then you put in the content and you hit send. And the system will send an email out to all the members. And then you'll see in this inbox here, all the emails that have been sent through the system will show in this inbox. Just they get emailed out, but it's just a way you can also have a list of them in here, and you can also see the emails that you've sent out. The documents area allows you to upload files. It can be anything, bylaws, charter, whatever kind of files you want to upload in here. It can be images, can be files, Word documents, those kind of things. There's a newsletter area that allows you to either upload newsletters or create the newsletters right online. And once you have them in here, so it'll be a repository for all past newsletters. I've worked with some clubs that have uploaded 30 years of newsletters into here just to have a history of them. But when you're ready, you can just say publish. And what the system will do is you can email out that newsletter to a distribution list, and it makes it available to members when they're viewing on this page. Then I'll go a little bit into the admin area. So you can, just a couple quick things about the public site. You can use your own domain. You can set up email accounts. They're forwarding email accounts, so you could create, Joe or president at myclub.org, and then have that forward to whoever the club president is. There's also there's a lot of admin things in here, but I'm just gonna kind of hit on the highlights. There's a member dues and invoicing area. And this lets you generate invoices for your members. And so let me show you how this works. This has been a really popular feature since we rolled it out a couple of years ago. And so you go and set up billing codes, which you could have a billing. I'll show you how I set up this one. So I created a billing code called annual dues for $100. These other ones are all for the donation control that I showed you. So then you set up member types. So I have member type regular member, and associated with that member type is that annual dues. So its billing code is associated with the member type. And then those member types are assigned to members. Then when you come into the billing area, you go to bulk invoicing. Say I want to send invoices to regular members. There's some other options here you probably won't use much. The generate invoice based upon member type is by far the most popular. You set the invoice date and the due date. It defaults to today and then 30 days from today. You indicate if there's any kind of discount, and then you can also set up credits for members, whether they overpay an invoice or you can manually create a credit. And the purpose of this is, let's say you invoice your members quarterly and it's $50 a quarter. And so some members will just pay $200 with that first $50 invoice. So what happens is a $150 credit gets created for that member. And then by having this checked, when that next $50 invoice is created, it will automatically pay it because they have that credit on record. So if email all invoices is checked, what happens is the system will email out an email to all members with a link to the invoice. And in that link, when they click it, it opens up a page that has their invoice. And what that does is it registers if they've viewed the invoice or not. So this status that says sent, that means the invoice has been sent out to all the members, but no one's seen them yet. If this one said viewed, it would mean this member has viewed the invoice. And if the background of this invoice was yellow of the row, then it means they've printed the invoice. So you know a lot about it. So the workflow is you send all the invoices out, you come back a few days later and you do a search for all the statuses that are not viewed or printed. And so you know which ones have not been viewed and may not be, whether they didn't open the email or it went to spam or whatever it may be. Then you just print those ones out because you know they didn't receive the email. So it can significantly cut down the amount of printing you would have to do of invoices to give to members. And then you also have the option to allow credit card payments for those invoices as well. So an example of an invoice, and this is just a test club, so I haven't set up any logos or anything, but it'll look something like this. And then the member could just click to pay online. They put their credit card number in and hit pay, and that invoice gets paid. So it can make the invoice processing really pretty easy for your club, where you just send them out to all the members, see who's viewed it. Some can pay online. The ones that don't pay online and give you a check, you just come back to the list of invoices and you receive payment. Then you put in how much they paid. Then you hit save, and now that invoice is paid. So it's a pretty popular feature in Portalbuzz, and a lot of clubs do use it and have a lot of success with it. So back in the admin area, just some other configurations here. The online applications are configured here. The donations are configured here. There's a sponsor function that will show a banner, a sponsor banner in the member area, and you can put one in the public area, on the public site, wherever you'd like. That's a way to help get the service paid for by the members, by sponsors. And that's been used quite a bit. You can get multiple sponsors in there so that the ads just rotate through. And then really quickly, let me just show you the pricing screen. The URL for it is portalbuzz.com/pricing. And there's a 30-day trial you can sign up for and try it out free for 30 days, no credit card required. Thanks again for taking the time to learn about Portalbuzz. If you have any questions, please visit us at portalbuzz.com or email us at support@portalbuzz.com. Have a great day.